All right, guys, a nice 22¼ inch walleye. Keeper here at Milacs, big dog, nice and fat. Look how thick she is. But you got the Panoptics going, that one's shot in. We still got a dead stick minnow down there, and we're catching the evening bite. We're pretty shallow here, 13 foot. But we got some hungry ones cruising in. Everyone that's cruised in has been pretty active after the bait. But that was the first one we got up the ice. Stay tuned. Oh yeah, look how cool that is. All right. Oops. That'll be fine.
Oh, good deal.
First night, walleye perch fillets.
Yes.
Hammered them. We're about to eat like kings. All right, guys. So as you can see, this is Mille Lacs Lake where we were fishing. We were on the south west tip that we'd come in on, and we focused most of our area in there. Sorry, I'm going to find us a better map here with a topographical view. But we were in that southeast bay right there. So as you can see, I'll zoom in. Almost all of our attention is right in this. You can see a lot of structure right there, but that's where the house was. Where I'm circling right now, that's an island, and then there's a long reef that runs from that point out to the island. That's great fishing, but we usually stay just south of that, out in about 25 to 28 feet of water is where we've traditionally focused a lot of our time. This year, we mix it up. So this little spot right here, this reef, a lot of structure up in here, but let me get back. So where we focused a lot of our time, we hit a lot of those shallow points, but this reef right there, it came up from, I'm going to say, anywhere from like 15 to 8 foot of water. In between, it dropped back down to like 20 foot, and then there was a nice feeding flat. So on the outside, you had about dropped off to 25 to 30 feet, came up on that reef right there, anywhere from 15 to 8. And then that dip, and then it came up on this other side to a nice feeding flat that was all like, I'm going to say 10 to 14 foot of water, that huge area. And that's where we fish a lot of our time. You're going to see our two shacks. When we start doing the drone footage, we had a pop-up right here, back on the reef, and there's that deep spot right in between. And then back on the reef there, we had the pop-up. And then out by the island, we had the permanent shack. And we found a ton of luck, like especially in the evenings on that reef right next to the main lake right there where I just circled, where you had fish coming in from the deep water walleye coming up on that reef right there, and we were hammering them, especially in the evenings. And then on this feeding flat over here, I ended up fishing there almost all day the last 2 days because it was constant action. A ton of perch, granted a lot of small ones, but I'm going to say like every 5th to 6th perch was 10 to 12 inches, a good keeper, and it was constant action. And then all of a sudden, there was still walleye moving through there all day. Some smaller ones, but still a lot in that slot range. Like the slot was 22 to 24 inches, which you're like, that'd be really hard to fill, but it was easy. Almost the average walleye, I'm going to say almost all our walleye fell between 21 to 25 inches. We had a couple over, and then we had a few small ones that would be in those perch schools, but you'd be watching Panoptics, and all of a sudden the perch would just disperse, and then you'd have a group of like 2 to 3, or sometimes even a singular, might have been a pike, would cruise through. If it was a group of like 2 to 3, it was always walleye, and they'd always hit. A lot of the singular ones we couldn't get to hit, so I don't know if they were pike cruising through or what, but a lot of action all day on that reef. So a great spot that we found to fish, and traditionally we've always stayed out deeper, especially midday. We'd be in that 25 to 28 foot range, which was pretty cool to see. But if you guys know Mille Lacs at all, there isn't a ton of depth changes. It's pretty gradual everywhere, so those reefs are huge. But we found a lot of luck there. It was fun, good trip, and you'll kind of see in this GoPro footage where the 3 shacks were set up. But that's where they were at on the map if you're curious, and where we found a lot of our luck up shallow this year. We went early ice too. Later ice, you're going to see that the reef, the island right here in this reef, is just caked with, like it's an ice city out there. There's just all the way from that shore point out to the island, gone crazy. But so that's kind of where we were fishing and what it looked like. I know we didn't get a lot of hook sets in there. Our GoPros kept getting so cold they would freeze over, so it's just when we whip the phone out and then the drone footage. But I promise one day we'll get better GoPros and be ready for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Here's some drone footage coming up, and you can kind of see where our shacks were.